Hello, hello. I hope this is working. If you can hear me, would you send a chat message? I'd love to know that this is working. I'm going to wait just a minute to get started since it's technically a few seconds early, but not much early. We'll be starting very, very soon. So today I will be once again picking up on the project I've been doing the last few weeks, my SQLite driver for Kivik. Last week I was fortunate enough to have somebody pair programming with me. Today I'm solo again. I'll be picking up essentially where I left off last week. I haven't made much progress. I did work on the project a little bit over the week, but on a different part of the project. So I'm going to continue working on the get attachment uh, function or method. Um, and then I'll pick up from where I left off last week with Dennis, who was pairing with me, and see what kind of progress we can make today. I expect I'll make a little more progress this time than last week, just because there was a fair amount of explaining that went in last week to teaching Dennis what the project was about and the structure of the code. And he's not a Go programmer primarily, so yeah, there was a little bit of learning curve, but that was great. I mean, it's not a complaint at all. I think that was valuable for me, for him, hopefully for the audience. But today I'll be just jumping in and coding. Um, if you have questions, of course, please don't hesitate to mention them in the chat. I'm using a different streaming software today than I have in the past. Last week I used StreamYard for the first time. I'm doing that again today. If I like it, I'll cancel the subscription I had to the other streaming service. I don't need two of them. StreamYard is better when I was pairing, so that's the reason I chose that one for last week, and I'm going to try it again for solo today. Yeah, if you're joining, I'd love to hear in the chat about that. Make sure that I'm, sound check. I don't expect to have a lot of people today, but if there's anybody here, let me know. I'm actually going to check quickly on LinkedIn and make sure that things look like they're working. Yeah, it looks like we're live on LinkedIn and on YouTube, so I think we're good. The lack of chat just means there's not anybody around right now, but that's okay because there's a replay, and you might be watching the replay and wondering why I'm pausing so much. Well, now you know why. Before I dive into the project today, a quick reminder: I do a daily Go-related email. Head over to boldlygo.tech/daily. You can sign up if you're not already on the list there. I'm talking about the Go specification, breaking it down into easy to digest and understand chunks, so you can learn something about the Go language from the spec perspective. About halfway through the Go spec right now, so you can jump in and pick that up. I'm also available. I have some availability in the coming months if you or your team could use some Go expertise on your project. My fractional Gopher service is available, boldlygo.tech/subscription, and you can see what I offer there. But let's jump into the project. So I have the website up for Kivik. I'm not going to really dwell on that. It's a nice little background while I'm talking. A reminder, or if you're new to this stream series, a description of what Kivik is, the library I'm working on. It is a Go SDK of sorts for working with CouchDB. CouchDB is a JSON-based document database, so it's not like MySQL or Postgres. It's a NoSQL database. And I'm adding SQLite support to my driver so that I can store my CouchDB documents in SQLite. And the reason for doing that is to make testing easier. I want to be able to test my CouchDB applications without installing CouchDB. So that's the goal. Give me one moment to open my window. It's kind of warm in here. Changed my mind. No window. There's an airplane overhead. I live in the flight path of the airport, so I just turn on a fan. Hopefully, it's not too noisy. If that is a problem, let me know, and I'll turn off the fan and suffer through the heat. All right, so let me check out the code and get going. So here's my editor where we left off last week. Here are the notes that Dennis and I had created. I have to get back my head back into the right space to remember what I was working on. Let me just run the test. I expect a passing, but I want to be certain. Okay, the tests are passing. So what was the next thing to do here? So we had a test here. When an attachment is returned, it contains metadata. So I'm not sure if I like that description because there's an ellipse there. Yeah, I'm not. I think we got interrupted kind of halfway through writing that test description. Let me make sure I have the latest version of my branch checked out. So getter attachment is the branch we were working on last week. It's already been merged, so now it's in master. I'm going to call this new branch. I'll call it get attachment 2 for no particular reason. All right, so here are some to-do cases that haven't been handled yet. Now I'm gonna actually revisit this last test in particular. We're checking metadata. Well, I guess that's okay. So the thing is that it should also return data. And I know Dennis, last week Dennis said that we should check one thing at a time, and I in principle agree with that. However, the data and metadata are returned as a single object. So like testing half of the object and not the other half feels wrong and maybe arbitrary. So I'm going to update this test to just return an attachment. And maybe there's a reason that Dennis is right and I'm wrong here. And if you have an opinion, let me know in chat. I'm hoping to have a follow-up conversation with him publicly, perhaps next week, where we can talk about this. So I'm really curious to hear if he can convince me that what I just did and what I'm about to do is not the best way to go. All right, so now I want to add the data, the content. I think is nope. What is the I have this thing called attachment metadata. I'm going to rename this now to just attachment. No, because that conflicts with something. What does it conflict with? Right here. Going to rename that to just ATT. All right. I think it's more important to have my data type with the full name than my variable name. So now I want to add, okay, I want to see this. So this returns a driver attachment. And the thing is that contains content as an IO reader. I want it to be a string because it's easier for testing. That doesn't make sense for the public API because it should be an IO reader. That makes perfect sense. But for testing, a string is perfect. So now I need to read that data. Do data io.read all content. If error does not equal nil, then I want to get to fatal error. And this data should be converted to a string. All right, so now the test should fail because this isn't actually attaching the data yet. Oh, it's even panicking. That's not what I expected. Let's see what's going on here. Line 142 is right here. Okay, that does make sense actually. So this function, this method is returning an attachment with a nil content. I have to decide if that's ever valid. I don't think it is. And in fact, I think I have this type documented to not do that. No, maybe not here. Anyway, I think the solution is just to start returning that. So let me, I don't remember what the column is called. So I want to look at my schema file and see what that column is. It's called data. All right. Data. Now here I'm going to create a separate variable for this data. Call it byte slice. All right. And the reason I want to do this is because I need to convert this byte slice to an IO reader to include in the driver attachment object. So I can't just scan it directly into the object. And now I need to put this error checking first because I don't want to try to convert a null. I guess I could. It wouldn't be null. It'd be empty. I guess I could do that. That wouldn't hurt anything. So I can just do @content equals bytes.new reader data. Now I think it needs to be an IO read closer. Yeah, it does. So I need to add that io.nup closer to it. All right. All righty. Give me 1 second. I'm doing a quick sanity check to make sure that everything looks good on the streaming. It looks like it is. I haven't had anybody comment yet, so I'm just a little bit concerned that it might not be working. I see 3 people are watching on YouTube, so that's a good sign. And probably more on LinkedIn, but I don't have those stats in front of me. All right, I'll continue. All right, so now let's see if the test pass. All right, they don't pass, but they don't pass because I haven't yet updated the test to include the proper data. So let's do that. Now the test should pass. Okay, good. And I've added some functionality. I can now actually return an attachment. All right. Now I know that we have, I know that this code doesn't work correctly because it doesn't do anything with regard to revisions. There are different document revisions and even potentially file revisions that need to be considered, and I'm not doing that right now. So let me see what test case I want to handle next. I could just go down the list. The doc has been deleted. I don't think I've handled that. Let's do that, and that may already work. Actually, I'm quite certain it doesn't work, so that'll be a good one to test. Document has been deleted. Should return 404, or let's just say not found. So we need to do a little bit of setup here, and we can basically just do this, I think. So this is creating a document with ID of foo, saying it is deleted. I don't actually, I could do that. I don't want to do it that way, though. I want to delete it myself. So I'll return the revision, and then I will call delete. Yes, that's what I want. I don't think that's right. Should be kivik.rev, and then I can pass in rev. All right, so now I've created a document that has an attachment, and we have deleted it. So now we need to pass in the arguments to have the test try to fetch that document. Just copy and pasting again. But this time I don't want it to return an attachment. I want it to return not found. And I wanted to say, I don't know, I think I wanted to say document not found. It says not found missing. I'll stick with that for now, but I'll probably change that. Tester failing as expected. So it's not returning an error, even though I expected it to. Good. I mean, I shouldn't say I expected it to. I want it to. But it's not right now. I expected it to fail. It is failing. So I'm also going to delete this from the to-do list. All right. So now we need to make this test pass. And the problem here is that all we do right now is check that for that document to exist. And the document does exist in the database, and the attachment exists in the database. The problem is the most recent revision has been deleted. So we need to look up the most recent revision and then see if it has a document on it. And that can be done in a couple different ways. The naive way is to just do exactly what I said, look up the most current revision, and then look up a document on that revision or an attachment on that revision. And that's probably the way I'll start with because that's a little bit easier to implement. In the long term, I can also do that as a single SQL query, be a little bit more efficient, but it's a little bit harder to reason about. So I'm going to start with a simple way, and then I'll do the refactoring later. Possibly on this recording, possibly not. We'll see. The first thing I need to do, though, is I want to create a transaction because I want when I query for that revision, I want to make sure no other updates have happened to the database before I finish my transaction. So I need to create a transaction first. Now, I've done that in some other methods already, so I think I can probably just copy a little bit of that rather than doing it myself. So here, transaction. This should be return nil, not empty string. And then at the end, I want to do tx.commit. So, as a last resort, if committing a transaction fails here, then I return that error. Now I need to make this attachment exists method take a transaction object rather than using the database directly. So let's pass that in. And then down here, I'm going to reformat this to be a little bit more readable. Let's put TX. All right. So now it accepts the transaction. It's not using it yet, but I can make that change quickly. All right. So now there's still only a single. Oops, there should be a comma. There's still only a single SQL query happening within that transaction, but at least it's in a transaction. And the test should still fail in exactly the same way as before. And they do. So that's reasonable. I could have done that transaction as a commit before adding the broken test. Actually, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cheat a little bit though. I'm gonna make that commit without committing the new test. So in my Git history, it will look like I made that change first. Update get attachment to use a transaction. All right. Now I need to do, but in this area, after starting a transaction and before doing this attachment exists thing, I need to look up the current revision. And I've done that in other functions. In fact, I have a function called current rev that can do that for me. So let's do that. I don't care about all, I'm actually going to delete this. I don't care about all that stuff right now. What I care about is there a current revision? And if there's not, let me think. If there's a error no rows means the document is not found. So then I want to return not found missing. Okay, that's good enough. And then I need to make this attachment exist smart enough to take a revision. So I'm actually reconsidering how I want to handle this. I might want to go back and add a different test case first. No, well, I don't know. This is one of those places where having a pair, a partner, help you talk through the stuff. Even just rubber ducking can be helpful. I guess you're my rubber duck right now, but having somebody who can help work through some of this is often very valuable. All right, so I need to pass in a revision here. It's pretty straightforward, I think. I'm going to just let's do revision, and then I'm going to update this. I'm going to reformat it slightly. This is actually going to break. Well, let me think. Will it work for this? I don't need this right now, come to think of it. I don't need it for this particular test. So that does simplify things a little bit. What I need instead, actually, let me see what this current rev does. Does it even consider whether it's deleted or not? It does not. So what well, let's continue. I'm going to go back to what I was just starting to do. I'm going to pass the revision into this method, even though I know that means this function doesn't work quite right. That's okay. I'm jumping. Mentally, I'm jumping way ahead of myself, and I'm not. It's so easy to get distracted with corner cases you can think of ahead of time, right? So I want to do. Look at the schema again. I have rev and rev ID. Okay, so rev equals 3, and rev ID equals $4, and then I need to pass in those two parts of the revision. I'm going to break this line up a little bit. Rev.rev, rev.id. And now the tests are passing, although they may be passing for the wrong reason. But we'll find that out with the next test. Okay, the tests are passing. Don't return attachment for deleted document. Oops, those quote marks got confused. Okay, now I said it was succeeding for the wrong reason. That's kind of half true. The problem is now it's only looking for the most recent revision, regardless of whether it's been deleted or not. So I'm going to add a test that I know is going to trip that up. So it's going to be almost exactly the same as this last test, except instead of deleting, we're going to update. Let me rewrite this. So document has been updated since attachment was added, should succeed. So now I'm going to do an update here. Sure, I just updated thing. It doesn't really matter, but that's fine. So now it should succeed. In fact, I can just copy the want attachment from here. That's what it should do. It's going to fail. And that's because this query is not smart enough yet. So walking you through what's happening, let me run the test in the larger console. Should have a nil pointer dereference. I'm not sure why that is. Let's investigate that. Line 196 over here. Oh, I know why. It's because it's returning an attachment that's nil. And we didn't expect that. Okay. So what's happening is it's calling current rev and determining what the new revision is, which I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. It's 2 dash something, the revision here. But then here it's trying to find a document with the same revision, or an attachment with the same revision. What we actually want is an attachment with that, or that. How to explain? So you can have, like, say 10 revisions of a document, and you add an attachment at revision 2. That attachment is still good and valid on the document until it is either deleted, the document, the attachment, either the document or the attachment are deleted, or the attachment's replaced with a new version of the attachment. But this query only looks for essentially attachments that were added at the same query, at the same revision, I mean. It's a loud noise coming from outside. Don't know what it is. Sounds like someone's doing some construction work or doing a tree grinder or something. All right. So let me see how I can update this thing. I've done something similar already on another method called get, I believe, does something similar. Let me see how this works. So I have a method called get attachment. Let me see if this does what I want. Oh, it kind of looks like it might already do what I want. I wonder if I could just call this. Let me see what it returns. It returns something called a star attachment. Is it returning? It's returning attachments iterator. Okay, this is really close to what I need. Except I just need a single attachment, not all attachments. So I'm gonna copy and paste this. I know that's evil, but I can refactor later. I'm gonna copy and paste this into this file. I'm gonna call it just get attachment, I think. Single, get rid of the plural, and it's going to return a driver attachment. All right. Returns the, and it needs to take a file name. Now this has a few extra arguments that I don't care about, but we'll get there. I just include attachments, Boolean, this since thing. I'm pretty sure I don't care about either of those, but like I said, I'll get there. So this should return only a single attachment. So I need to update. So this big query. Is what's responsible for selecting all the attachments that are relevant for a particular revision. And I need to figure out how to tweak this to only do a single file name. I think I can add that here. Is that all I need to do? And file name equals $4. I suppose that should work. We'll find out, right? Okay, args. I'm not going to do $4. Oh, maybe I will. Let me see. Yeah, okay, I can put that right here. Okay, and then so there's the query. It still has stuff I don't need, but I'm gonna try to do the minimum necessary to make it work, and then I'll trim out the stuff I don't need. Now I want to do the query row context instead of query context, so it's going to return a single row. And then I can move this scan. So move this up here, and then I can delete this, I think. What's missing? Something's wrong. So I want this attachment and data to be up here. And then I want to do scan. And I'm going to copy all this into here. Okay, if error does not equal nil, return nil. Good enough. And then content All right, something isn't happy. Oh, I think that needs to be at a pointer. All right, I think the function compiles now. Now I think I can start using. Let me try this. Let's see if it works magically, huh? I still need, okay, let me delete these other arguments I don't care about. I don't care about include attachments and sends. Okay, so that was actually $4, but I don't need that. And then this since thing, I don't need. Hi, Potato. Thanks for joining. So I can just move this now into here. So that the more complicated version does this sort of more complex query building, which I don't care about for this simple case. So I'm deleting a bunch of that. Now I have this since query, which I don't need. 1, 2, 3. All right. All right. Let's see if it works. I'm not really expecting it to. All right. Line 196 is still failing. Why? It's in this file, 196. Content is nil, apparently. I'm just going to print out A, the attachment, and see if I'm getting anything here. I'm going to run just a single test. It's not. All right. So I think I'm not happy with what I've done. Because I copied this huge thing and it's not working. So I'm going to revert all that I just did. Well, I'm going to add the test. No. So the test is still fine. The test is failing as expected, but my attempted fix is bogus. And I don't know why. And rather than debugging it again, I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try it in smaller steps. So I'm going to look back over here at this. I'm going to change this to get attachment. I like that name better. It seems to more accurately reflect what I want the function to do. And it parallels this get attachments that I have over here. So I like that name a lot better. All right. So I might just copy parts of this function. I have to be a little more intentional about it, obviously, and make sure I understand it a little better. I understood it at least well enough when I wrote it, but that was a few weeks ago. So here I'm getting. I'm not 100% convinced this is actually correct either, but it'll be more correct than what I have now. Once again, I'm jumping way ahead of myself and thinking about corner cases that this might not address, but I need to focus on the task at hand. All right, so what am I trying to accomplish? I want it to return, let me see how this indentation works. Yeah, that's right. So I want to kind of just copy this. So this sub select or whatever does a recursive check to get all the You should get all of let me see, what is it getting? All of the file attachments that are relevant at a particular revision, which is exactly what I'm trying to do. This other stuff I don't really care about, like this attachment sense I don't care about. So let me see if I can. The lights in here are bothering my eyes. That's why I'm wincing like this. And my bright light's right behind my screen. I think I'm going to copy this and put it in here. Now the thing is, this takes two arguments now because it's doing a join. I don't think this is going to work. The test have failed. I'm still getting a panic. Is it the same panic? It looks like it is the same panic. Okay, SQL logic error. No such column ID. Let me see what I have here. Select ID, rev ID, parent ID. Okay, I see what's going on here. I don't think I need this anymore. I got rid of that particular error. I'm still getting this panic though. I'm still getting a not found. I don't. Wait a minute. Oh, here's where attachments is. Okay. Why is it returning? Okay, I'm also not searching for the file name yet, but that should be okay right now because there's only a single file name. So even if it, that shouldn't be a problem just yet. Dun, 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 dun. I'm getting a not found, and I don't know why. Maybe I'll just start deleting some bits of this. I'm actually getting a not found for a previous case. The earlier test case that I just, the first one I did today is actually returning not found right now. This one right here. So something's clearly wrong. So here's where we check if something's deleted or not. That should be fine. I'm not sure what's wrong here. Hi, Elias. How you doing? So I have to decide how I want to proceed here. I could go to the effort of setting up SQLite locally, which isn't that hard. It's a bunch of copy and paste. It takes a few minutes. And then I could experiment with these queries locally. That might be the way to go. It feels like a lot of work for something that should be simple. Let me look at my arguments here, make sure they're in the right order. Doc, file name, rev ID. Oh, I'm passing a file name, and I'm not okay. That explains the problem here. Let's change that. And file name equals 2, and this should be 3 and 4. I don't know if this will fix it, but it would sure be nice if it does. It does not. But let's see if we get a different error. Now I get a different, different error at least. Okay, so let's just try it like this. Okay, that's more like what I expected. So I'm returning something. The deleted case is not working as expected. Let's add a clause here where file name equals 2. And let's try this. So that's not returning not found, but I think I know why. Well, it's returning no error. So basically my new test is passing now. This new one that we're getting the document for the right, that we're getting the attachment for the right revision. That's working. But now the deleted case is not. Which it kind of makes sense, I think, because that deleted case was passing for the wrong reason in the first place. Let me see what this deleted rev thing is about. I don't know what that is, and I don't see it. Is that something referenced over here? It's not part of my schema, is it? Oh, it is. Oh, okay. I do know what that is. I do remember this. That's the revision where the document is deleted. So so that's fine. I need to write a test for that. But I'm not checking for if the document itself is deleted. That checks. Sorry, deleted rev is the revision at which the attachment was deleted from the document. So that makes sense. But I need to also check that the document itself has not been deleted. And I think to do that, I need to do another join. Yeah. Because right now, and I don't know if I like this design, but right now, the deleted flag is stored in the docs table. It probably belongs to the revs table. I'll probably make that change later. But for now, it's the docs table. So I need to add another argument here. Actually, let's just d.name in this case. And then I do a left join %3q as docs on. That should be rev ID doc. And docs loaded. Actually, let me check what that is here. Here, deleted is a Boolean, not null. Okay. Let's see if that makes the test pass. Looks like not. Should be. That might just be a join. This is not working. Okay, what's wrong here? What's wrong here? Oh, now I get a panic. It's even better. Why did I get a panic from that? Oh, because it doesn't like that. The exclamation point apparently was not. All right. Different ways to write the same expression. Elias he liked my naked returns video. Thanks. Appreciate that. I had that one sitting in my backlog for a long time, and I forgot to publish it, or I failed to publish it until just recently. So, all right. What is failing here? We should return not found, but we're not returning not found. Now, we should. So I should do this. If errors dot is error, comma. That's not going to fix this problem. I should have been getting an error. I just would have had the wrong error message, but I wasn't even getting that. So this I know this won't fix the problem, but I'll need it. So why is this? Why is it returning success when it shouldn't? That's the question, right? It's returning an attachment when it should be returning not found. Let me look at the test case, make sure I didn't screw it up somehow. Wait, am I looking at the wrong test case here? No, yeah, so that one's working. It's the not found one. This one should. I'm wondering what current rev is returning in this case. Let me print that out. Okay, it's getting revision 2, so that's correct. And that should be the deleted revision. Let me check this condition. Docs.id equals rev.id. So that matches the document ID to the one in the revs table. Docs.rev equals rev.rev. And docs.revID equals rev.revID. That should be fine. And then we check for file name equals 2. I'm going to add a blank one attachment here to see what kind of data I'm getting back. Let's just dump some more stuff out that way. Rev pause 1. Okay. All right, I'm going to add some more debugging here. I'm going to return docs.deleted here. And I will scan that into a variable. Let's call it deleted. I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to print that out. Ooh, we're getting a panic. Deleted false. I'm also curious about this at dot rev pause. Let's see what that is. 0. Expected 5 destination arguments and scan not 6. Oh, I see. That shouldn't be there. Oh, I think I put this join in the wrong place. That's my problem here. Join percent 3q as doc. No, Copilot, you're stupid. Rev. Okay. ID equals rev.id, and there, that looks better. Where not doc.deleted. Does that fix it? No, it doesn't. I still have an SQL error. Logic near from. Oh, because the from needs to come after the join, of course. Wait, no. That doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm confused. Syntax logic, SQL logic error near from. I'm not debugging Go right now, am I? I'm debugging SQL. Near from. How many froms are in this query? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, here. Is that it? Ambiguous column rev. Well, that's an improvement, I think. Where do I have ambiguous column rev? Select ID. Here. So this should be at.rev. These should all be at atts dot atts dot atts dot atts dot. Still not working. What do we have now? No such column rev.id. Let's call that at. I'm not sure if this is actually the best way to write this query, but let's see if we can get it to work anyway. All right, something's not right here. I'm going to undo a bunch of this. Get it back to the state where it was at least mostly working. Still broken. I should have committed earlier, and I forgot to. So I have to be really careful about how far I undo this stuff. Okay. I'm going to create a WIP work in progress commit. I'll update that commit message later. All right, so where do I actually want this join to happen? So we have like 3 levels of subqueries here, don't we? The first thing I want to do is make this, I want to unindent this a little bit to make everything line up a little bit better. All right, now, so first we have this with at thing. And that has select, it has 2 selects that union to each other with this recursive thing. And then that selects and does a join here. Oh, we already put that docs in here. That's the one that I wasn't sure is right. Now it's broken. Because I have an invalid column if I do that. All right, so that's the version I wanted to commit, actually, I think. All right. So this part selects the ancestors, meaning revisions that are ancestors to the revision we're requesting. And the reason we want that is because we want to join that against the list of attachments. Because we want to get all attachments for all previous ancestors, at least the ones that haven't been deleted. So that seems okay. And then we want to filter so actually a shortcut here. I'm not sure if I like the approach, but one option would be just to check if the document's been deleted, and if so, skip this whole thing. I don't really like that approach because it means an extra query, but it would be something to reason about. I should be able to put the join anywhere I want, really. It shouldn't matter. I just need to get it working. I don't know why it wasn't working before. I feel like this is the best place because this is where I have access to. Let me try it again. Join. So I'm going to put that d.name. That's the docs one. %3q as doc on doc ID equals rev ID, doc rev equals rev, doc rev ID equals rev ID. Okay. And not doc deleted. I have a theory about why this is failing, actually. I believe what I'm doing here, yeah. What's happening here is I'm getting all how do I say this? I'm getting all revisions of attachments. I'm getting all revisions of documents that have a valid attachment on them. But what I want to do is get the most recent one, I think. I might have to change my my tactic for this live stream because this isn't about coding, Go coding. This is more just about SQL logic, which maybe that's interesting to people. I don't know, but it's not really the purpose I was trying to go for. I might have to change which project I work on in the future. But we're already halfway through this one today, so I'm not going to change midstream. Let me think about this. So I have something kind of similar in a different place. Let's see what function this is. Yeah, this is similar to what I need. So the thing is for every file name, I'm confusing myself. I can't imagine how boring this is to watch me sit here thinking like this. For every file name, I want the most recent revision only. No, that's not even what I care about right now. What I care about is the document deleted? That's all I care about right now. For that, I think I could do it here. Join percent 3q as doc. Doc.rev equals ats.rev. Why am I returning this? I don't think I need to return all this stuff, but I'll worry about that in a moment. That might work. No, still panicking. Ambiguous column name. Oh, I have that deal again. Let me fix that. Still not working. I have no idea why. I think I think I need to create my my database locally where I can query against it. I don't know. Would anybody find that, if you're watching and you'd find that interesting, let me know and I'll work on that for the next hour. Otherwise, I'm tempted to stop on this particular path. Maybe I'll do something else for the next hour. I can accomplish this later. I just feel like this is such a tangent from Go and TDD that it probably isn't for very interesting watching. But if you're enjoying this, let me know. Let me think of what else I can work on for the next hour, or maybe I'll just end early today. I think I'm going to just stop. Honestly, I do think there's some interesting stuff I could do on this project in future live streams, but I think I need to get past some of this basic SQL stuff because it's the kind of stuff that's really hard to talk out loud through. I need to concentrate. I need to get it working. I maybe it's possible to do that out loud, but I don't feel like I'm very good at it, so I'm going to not do that. Maybe with a partner to talk it through, it would be easier. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna next week I'll live stream again, but I'm gonna work on a different project. I'll probably go back to linters. I'm working on a new linter project that I think could be interesting to a lot of people. So that's probably what I'll do next week. Um, and then once I get through some of this SQL stuff and I have some more Go centric TDD work I can do, I will live stream on this project again. So long story short, I will be streaming again next week, but probably on a different project, unless I've gotten through this hump before then. So come back next week. Join me again. And if you have anything you'd like me to talk about, I'd love to hear. If you have a project that you'd like me to review or to help you with, I'd be happy to pair with you. Maybe you have some a Go project, a hobby project, or even a work project, as long as you're allowed to share it publicly. And you could use some help on it. I'd be happy to spend some time doing that with you. So I'm gonna end it a little bit short today, and I'll probably keep working on this. Well, yeah, I may keep working on this after, but I'm gonna do it when I don't feel self-conscious about not talking about it as I'm working, because I need to be able to concentrate to solve some of these problems. So sorry for the short live stream. Thanks for those of you who joined. Potato, yes. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you all next week.